Have you ever found yourself in the quiet, lonely moments of life, feeling as though the person you love is drifting further away, despite your fervent prayers and deepest longings? The silence can be deafening, filling you with doubt, fear, and a sense of abandonment. But what if I told you that this silence isn't a sign of God's absence, but rather His presence at work in ways you can't yet perceive? What if, in this very moment, God is preparing a miraculous reunion that will not only bring your loved one back but also deepen your relationship in ways you never imagined possible? This isn't just wishful thinking, it's the profound truth of God's perfect timing and His intricate plans for your life. In this video, we will embark on a deeply spiritual journey, exploring the mysteries of God's timing and the ways He works in the silence. We'll dive into powerful biblical narratives, unravel the meaning behind your waiting, and reveal how God can turn your season of uncertainty into a testimony of His unfailing love and faithfulness. If you've ever felt like giving up, questioning whether God is listening, or wondering if your love story is over, then this message is especially for you. Stay with us, because what we're about to uncover might just be the divine breakthrough you've been longing for. Life is a series of seasons, each with its own unique challenges, joys, and lessons. But when it comes to matters of the heart, the season of waiting can be the most difficult to endure. We've all experienced it, the uncertainty, the anxiety, the desperate hope that the one we love will return. The waiting can feel endless, and the silence can feel like a heavy weight on our souls. Yet, what if this season of waiting is not a delay, but a divine appointment? What if God is using this time to prepare something so beautiful, so profound, that when it finally comes to pass, you'll look back and see His fingerprints on every detail? In this extended exploration, we will journey together through the spiritual and emotional complexities of waiting on God. We'll dive deep into the scriptures, drawing wisdom from the stories of those who waited on the Lord and were not disappointed. Through their experiences, we will find hope and encouragement, learning to see our waiting not as a burden but as a season of growth and divine preparation. We'll start by examining the biblical concept of waiting. In the Bible, waiting is not a passive state of inactivity. Instead, it is often a period of active trust, obedience, and transformation. For example, consider the story of Abraham and Sarah. God promised them that they would become the parents of many nations, yet for years, they remained childless. Their waiting was marked by doubt, impatience, and even moments of despair. But in the end, God fulfilled His promise, giving them Isaac, the child of promise. Their story reminds us that God's promises are true, and His timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own expectations. Next, we'll delve into the life of Joseph, a man whose journey was filled with more waiting than most of us could bear. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned, Joseph spent years in circumstances that seemed far removed from the dreams God had given him. Yet, through it all, God was with Joseph, preparing him for a purpose greater than he could have imagined. When the time was right, God elevated Joseph to a position of great authority in Egypt, where he was able to save his family and countless others from famine. Joseph's story teaches us that even in the darkest times, God is working behind the scenes, aligning events for our ultimate good. We'll also explore the story of David, who was anointed as king but spent years running for his life from King Saul before he could ascend to the throne. David's time in the wilderness was one of intense struggle, but it was also a time of deep spiritual growth. It was in the wilderness that David wrote many of the Psalms, expressing his trust in God despite his circumstances. David's story reminds us that waiting is often a time of preparation, where God shapes our character and strengthens our faith. As we move through these stories, we will uncover the lessons they hold for us today. You'll learn how to stay hopeful and faithful during your own periods of waiting, how to recognize the ways God is working in your life, and how to align your desires with His will. We'll discuss the importance of patience and how this virtue is not just about enduring the passage of time, but about trusting in God's plan and timing. One of the key scriptures we'll focus on is Isaiah 40 verse 31, which says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall mount up with wings like eagles, they shall run and not be weary, they shall walk and not faint. This verse is a powerful reminder that waiting on God is not a time of weakness but a time of renewal. When we wait on the Lord, He gives us the strength to persevere, the courage to keep moving forward, and the faith to trust in His plan. We'll also explore Romans 8 verse 28, which tells us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." This verse reassures us that no matter what we're going through, God is working behind the scenes for our good. Even when we can't see it, God is orchestrating events in our lives to bring about His perfect plan. Another scripture we'll delve into is Psalm 27 verse 14, which encourages us to wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Waiting on the Lord requires courage, but the promise is that He will strengthen our hearts. This strength is not just physical but emotional and spiritual, equipping us to face whatever challenges come our way. As we explore these scriptures and stories, we'll also discuss practical steps you can take during your season of waiting. These steps include deepening your prayer life, immersing yourself in God's Word, and seeking out a community of believers who can support and encourage you. We'll talk about the importance of maintaining a heart of gratitude, even when the waiting is hard, and how this attitude can shift your focus from what you lack to the blessings that are already present in your life. We'll also examine the role of faith during times of waiting. Faith is not just believing that God will come through, it's trusting that He is already at work, even when you can't see it. It's believing that God's timing is better than your own, and that He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. This kind of faith is built through a close, personal relationship with God, one that is nurtured through prayer, worship, and time spent in His Word. Throughout this video, we will pause for moments of reflection and prayer, giving you the opportunity to connect with God on a deeper level. These moments are designed to help you process what you're learning and to invite God into your waiting. We'll encourage you to speak to God about your desires, to pour out your heart to Him, and then to release those desires into His hands, trusting that He will bring them to pass in His perfect timing. We'll also discuss the concept of surrender, what it means to truly let go of your own plans and to trust God with your future. Surrender is not about giving up, it's about giving over. It's about acknowledging that God's plans are better than our own, and that He is more than capable of fulfilling the desires of our hearts in ways that are beyond our imagination. In addition, we'll explore the importance of staying active while you wait. Waiting on God doesn't mean sitting idly by, it means continuing to live your life with purpose, seeking God's will in every area, and being faithful in the small things. As you do this, you'll find that God is not only preparing your loved one to return but also preparing you to receive them in a way that is healthy, strong, and ready for the next chapter of your life. We'll talk about the signs that God is at work in your situation, even when it doesn't seem like it. These signs might be small and subtle, but they are there, God's way of letting you know that He hasn't forgotten you and that He is moving behind the scenes. We'll teach you how to recognize these signs, how to be encouraged by them, and how to use them as a reminder to keep trusting in God's plan. Finally, we'll close this message with a powerful call to action. As we wrap up this deep and transformative journey, I want to challenge you to take what you've learned and apply it to your life. Don't just watch this video, let it change you. Let it strengthen your faith, deepen your trust in God, and transform your perspective on waiting. If this message has resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need this encouragement. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so that you never miss a message that could change your life. But more importantly, take a moment right now to speak to God about your desires. Pour out your heart to Him, and then release those desires into His hands. Trust that He is working, even in the silence, and that He is preparing a miraculous comeback that will exceed your wildest expectations. Remember, God is never late, He is always right on time. Keep the faith, keep praying, and watch as He brings your loved one back into your life in His perfect timing. Stay blessed, keep trusting in God's unfailing love, and until next time, may God guide your heart, strengthen your faith, and fulfill His promises in ways that will leave you in awe. Remember, the waiting is not wasted, it's a season of preparation, growth, and divine alignment. Hold on to the truth that God is faithful, and His plans for your life are more incredible than you could ever imagine. As you go forward, carry with you the assurance that God is working in your life, even when you cannot see it. Continue to walk in faith, seek His presence daily, and stay open to the ways He is shaping your journey. And when the time is right, you'll see the fullness of His blessings unfold before you, including the return of the one you love, restored and renewed in God's perfect timing. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey. If you feel moved by this message, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments or through our community channels. We'd love to hear your story and join you in prayer. Let's continue to grow together in faith, love, and trust in God's plan for our lives. Until we meet again in the next video, stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep your eyes fixed on the one who holds your future. God bless you, and may His peace and love surround you always.